All right, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us at the Career and Technical Education Center on the Gloucester Campus of Rowan College of South Jersey. My name is Susan Nardelli, and I lead the Communications and Marketing for RCSJ. We are excited to take this step today, breaking ground on a 13,000 square feet expansion to support construction trades training. At RCSJ, we are committed to career training that allows students to build a meaningful future while also offering an academic pathway for continued education that maximizes work experience when individuals wish to take the next step in their careers. We have a full agenda today, and everyone plays a vital role in this pathway. And before we begin, I would like to start with acknowledgments to groups and a few individuals. First, we thank the Gloucester County and the commissioners for their support. Director DeMarco, Deputy Director Jefferson, Commissioner Gattinelli, Commissioner Wang, County Surrogate, Mr. Joe Chila. And then we also have Congressman Norcross here. We're happy to have you and look forward to your remarks. Mr. Sweeney from Ironworkers International, Mr. Cosner of the Building Trades Council of Southern New Jersey. To all the unions and independent trades, thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. Our two education partners, GCIT and Rowan University, who are in this pathway concept with us. Mayor Medani and council members Barnshaw and Leidy of Deptford Township. Chambers of Commerce for Southern New Jersey and Gloucester County, Gloucester County Workforce Development Board, the Rowan College Board, South Jersey Board of Trustees, Dr. Wallace, Mr. Bumpus, Ms. Abel, and the RCSJ Foundation. And one more thank you to everyone who came today to show your support. And now at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Gloucester County Commissioner Director Frank DeMarco.
Thank you. Very important. How's my hair? All right? Perfect. A lot of liars out there. Good afternoon, everyone. As said, I am Frank DeMarco. I'm the director of the Gloucester County Board of Commissioners, and I'm thrilled to welcome you all to Rowan College of South Jersey as we celebrate the expansion of our Career and Technical Education Center. This exciting development will introduce new programs that support the trades and enhance our commitment to workforce readiness. This groundbreaking ceremony marks the beginning of a new chapter for our center, where we will enhance our facilities and resources to better serve our students and the community. I'd like to thank some of our guests. I know you've already been announced, but Congressman Norcross, Vice President Ironworkers, Steve Sweeney. Did Chad make it here yet? I know. Is he on his way? He's a main cog in this wheel also. Gloucester County Administrator Chad Bruner. Dan Cosner of Building Trades. Heather Simmons, RCSJ, Vice President of Career, Technical Education, and Workforce Development, and of course, Dr. Fred Keating. In addition to the RCSJ's leadership and administration, I'd also like to extend my gratitude to the Career and Technical Education team, including Dean Bridget Satchel, Assistant Dean Michael Goonan, and all their dedicated staff. Your hard work and commitment to pushing the boundaries have made this possible, and we truly appreciate your support. College is not always the choice for everyone. The construction trades has been the backbone of our nation, and even this field suffers a shortage of labor. The expansion of our trades programs will provide invaluable opportunities for hands-on learning and skill development, preparing our students for successful careers in high-demand fields, including carpentry, welding, remediation, rehab, plumbing, and HVAC, to mention a few. You may have heard this referred to as the apprenticeship prep. And that's a very good description because it takes graduates from our GCIT programs or the trades themselves send us their workforce to enhance and train them with even better skill sets to prepare them for a long and important career that our region desperately needs. As director of the Gloucester County Board of Commissioners, it's an honor to support this expansion. and the board and I are excited about the opportunities this will bring our community and New Jersey as a whole. Together with Rowan College of South Jersey, we are investing in the future of our workforce and ensuring that our graduates are equipped with the skills needed to excel. This project also enhances our educational campus, and now we truly corner the market on all education opportunities, from special needs, healthcare and medicine, workforce development and training, highly competitive high school and trade school, a growing county college with numerous pathways, and now this construction trades program. I mean, we've done a number of pathways. We have pathways to nursing, pathways to medicine, pathways to neurodiversity, and now a pathway to construction trades and management. Gloucester County has it all. Thanks again, and congratulations to President Keating, the RCSJ Board of Trustees, our union partners, and the trade students who will benefit from this building and academic space, as well as the learning labs. Thank you for joining us in this celebration. Your support is vital as we work to create a brighter future for our students and our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Director DeMarco. Please welcome Congressman Norcross.
Good morning. What a great day to be here. Let's see here. Pick up wrong list. We'll save that one for later on, the missus. But first of all, Fred, thank you for the invitation. You have done such remarkable work here in this campus and so much more. And you started out in Camden County, to remind Steve of that. Commissioner DeMarco, great to see you again. Steve Sweeney, who started out in Pennsauken too, as you know, Fred. And Steve and I, in very much the pathway we're going to talk about today, started in Pennsauken many years ago. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. And you're going to hear from the president of Building Trades, Dan Cosner, who was once my young apprentice. And it is great to see everybody here to have this conversation. From the construction site to Congress, doesn't get talked about very often because it doesn't happen very often. And that's one of the unique qualities that we bring to the table, whether it's the commissioner, a senator, or a congressman. Those life experiences that took us what is considered a very different path than the traditional public servant, going to college, the four-year college, the Harvards, the Princeton. I went to the other four-year school. It was called an apprenticeship. And that's what we are talking about today, and something that I am so proud of. All of us work with our minds, our brains. When we talk about the construction trades in particular, it's also working with the hands, the ability to have a vision, to go and build it, and to have the skills to get there. It was a little bit odd for me to become an electrician that nobody in my family was an electrician. My other three brothers went what was considered, and in many ways still is, to make it in America, you have to go to college. Well, no, you don't. Yes, you do, and maybe. That's a real political answer, right? Is you don't have to go there when you're 18. You know, I woke up in the morning and I'd want to go tear something apart and build it. I loved working with my hands. That didn't fit real well as an 18-year-old into the college mold. And thus became my history when I went to an apprenticeship. That we need each and every one of those. As I say, when I graduated high school, I didn't know if I wanted to build the college, attend a college, or defend a college. And those are the three areas that people, as they are growing up, you know, to make it in America, you can do this and do it well. And we're finding out now with the shortage, not just in the trades, but in manufacturing. Everybody seems to want to do their job at home from a device. You can't build things for our country that way. And that's why what we're talking about today is just so important. And the dignity that comes with it. You know, in many ways, when we grew up, oh, you went to Vokey, you were looked at as less than. But you know what? No, you're not. You're equal to. We all are. We need our doctors, might even need a couple lawyers. We need our farmers, and we need all the trades, including the iron worker. But he asked me to include the iron worker. But if you look at the course over the last 2 years, there's been a tremendous amount of talk of relief for college debt. And that's important. But it's not the only thing. And I have been in discussions with the administration on this issue. You immediately say the most important thing in education is those who go to college. But how about the person who puts her life on hold and goes into one of our services to defend our country? How about those who go into the trade movement and get no help? So we are going to introduce a bill this coming session that talks about for those who are not getting the college relief that they are needed for those who go to trade school, an educational voucher or credit for those who want to pursue it in a different fashion. Then we include everybody into the equation of making it in America. And I just want to finish where I began. It's just thank Fred for you and Rowan College and what you've done here. Just something, nothing short of remarkable, bringing it all together. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Norcross. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Steve Sweeney, Vice President of Ironworkers International.
Donald, you know, I know too much about you. You know that. To say that. The truth is, these guys are all jealous of the ironworkers. It's the envy. We put buildings up real tall, then they come on and work on them after it's all safe. You know? You're welcome. But, you know, I want to recognize Fred for the vision that we recognized. And he wasn't the dean of discipline, Donald. We didn't spend much time with him in Pennsauken. But Fred, for your vision. Little secret, Fred's father was a union iron worker too. And, you know, and worked for one of the top, yes, absolutely. And that construction job provided Fred the education to go on the path that he went on. That's why these jobs are really good jobs. Heather, you've done a great job putting this program together. And there's some space here that was needed to be connected. That's all. We need to get our young people ready when they come to us. A lot of times they're not. So, as someone said, prep. Yeah, it's getting these young people ready, because I can tell you, we need people, but we need people that can get the job done. And our guys make a good living. They make a very good living. And as Donald said, the apprentice program is another degree that's going to stick with you the rest of your life. I can tell you, a lot of industries, you know, not industries, but people will change careers 8, 12 times during their lifespan. Ironworkers, you can start as a young person as an ironworker and retire as an ironworker. There's not a whole lot of industries that can do that. You know, and I might have been an electrician, but I wasn't as good at math. That was the secret with that. But honestly, and we're using stackable credits. There's legislation we created, you know, so you get the people what they need, not more, what they need to go get the job. So again, this is a great day for Gloucester County, for South Jersey, for the building trades, because you're only going to enhance the caliber and the quality of the young person that comes with us. Because being in a union, this is my union pitch, we provide health care for our workers. We provide pensions for our workers. We provide annuity for our workers. Our guys work real hard, and when they retire, they can live with dignity. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Daniel Cosner of the Building Trades Council of Southern New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and it's great to see so many familiar faces, and thanks for coming out. I want to thank President Keating and Heather for inviting me today to have say a few words. You know, I want to start off. I got to recognize some of my building trades partners that are here. I know John Young's my vice president. Where you at, John? Also a commissioner, Camden County. Leon Jones from the Bricklayers, my secretary back there. And listen, all my IBW guys, I mean, Congressman Norcross, IBW, Joe Chill, a surrogate. Chuck Delavecchia is here. Where you at, Chuck? He's one of my assistants. But listen, Rowan in general, and, you know, not everybody here knows me. I mean, I have been around for a while, but, you know, I've been the building trades president since 2012. I took over for Jim Kehoe, who retired. As the congressman said, I started in our IBW union office in 2001. Donald, at the time, some people, when I call him Donald, that's the congressman, but, you know, I worked with him, you know. So anyway, no, but just, you know, to go back in time, Senate President Sweeney and Congressman Norcross, you know, and Jim Kehoe at the time, always talked about our South Jersey building trades had a great relationship, right? It was like a family, and we still are that way today, and they got it rolling, and I can't know which one actually started that, but, you know, the building trades across the country have really, they struggle to get along. We do it pretty good here, and, you know, I want to roll Rowan into this too, because, you know, it's been many years that the building trades have built all these buildings that are around here. Project labor agreements, and, you know, we're partners with them. And, you know, I commend Rowan because this is a continued partnership, you know, and there's a need, like Congressman Norcross said, Senate President Sweeney said, you know, it's changed. Like, I started in the trades at 18 years old. My dad was an electrician. If he wasn't an electrician, I probably went into law enforcement or something like that. That's something that I wanted to do, but I went into the trades because of him. And, you know, when I first started, it was either you went to college and you took, you know, you want to be a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer or whatever, or you went into the trades. But, you know, over the years, we've become where we're in all the high schools. The high schools ask the building trades to come out and, you know, give everybody a little intro into the trades. And what you see sometimes is, and, you know, we even do it when we're working in Camden to get the Camden residents out on some of the Camden projects or the Windport, et cetera, right? And, you know, some of the students, some of the young people, and that's who we're all here trying to educate and look out for, really don't know what direction they want to go sometimes. And, you know, when you go into the schools, you see people think, well, you know, a carpenter does, you know, what does a carpenter really do or an electrician really do, right? They really don't know. And I think this partnership and what we have rolling here when the partnership with Rowan is that another step in that direction of really helping our younger folks get into the careers and pathways that they need. So I think this is awesome. I think it's a continued partnership that we got to expand on. And that's something we do very well. I'm patting everybody in this under this little tent today on the back because we all have the same goal, right? We want to bring up the younger folks, take care of education, and continue to help our students in the pathways that they should be in. So, again, thanks for having us here. Stay together, stay committed to it, and it's awesome, and we'll do a great job together. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krosner. Now, please welcome Ms. Heather Simmons, Vice President of Career and Technical Education and Workforce Development at RCSJ.
Thank you. Frank, how's my hair? The shoes are nice too. So I get the best job today because I get to talk about why we're really here. And to help me do that, I'd like to invite 5 students from Gloucester County Institute of Technology to join me. And along with them, I would also like to invite their instructors, Dan Roskovich and Ryan Houlihan. So Mr. Roskovich teaches welding at GCIT, and he brought with him today 3 welding students, including 2 women welding students. And Mr. Houlihan teaches plumbing. And with him today are two young men who have a bright future in the arena of plumbing. So I'd like to introduce them very quickly, if I could. Starting with our plumbing students. Jackson, are you behind? Oh, you're behind me. And William. And our welding students, Gwendolyn, Harlan, and Jackson, and Seamus. These young people took time out of their day. They were in classes, as you are in high school, all day long, right down the road. And when Dr. Keating, with the blessing of the Board of Trustees and the county commissioners, said, this is a new day for CTE, it's time for us to move into this arena, the first phone call that we made was to these folks right down the street. Because as a community college, we throw a blanket around the students who are at our high schools, particularly our vocational schools, and say all are welcome because there's a pathway here to take you from where you started to what comes next. That pathway is pretty clear if you study engineering or medicine or business. It's not always entirely clear if you're somebody who grew up with a passion for working with your hands, or someone in cosmetology or baking or culinary. The groundbreaking here today is a first step towards saying all students have a direct pathway here, and we're making that pathway clear. The pathway was always here for them, but it was a little bit muddier. What does that pathway look like for students like these young people here today? With the help of all of the people here, we're clarifying that path. We're putting resources behind that path. We have employers, labor unions, Rowan University, and other partners all here today. I think we need a bigger tent to say that we're all in this together because we all have the same values, that the future of these young men and women, to make sure that they're educated with excellence, that they're educated to be safe, that they gain employment with a living wage, and that they have a pathway for their entire career is all in place. That's the responsibility of every single one of us here. I'm so proud to be back with this institution. I was here about 100 years ago, long before Cody was born. That's actually true. And I was invited to come back here this year, and I couldn't be more proud to be part of this launch into the future of CTE. And that is not possible without all of you, and especially not possible without the Dean of CTE, Bridget Satchel, who has been a guiding force for the trades programming that we have been doing in facilities at GCIT and at CC Tech in Cumberland County. And now we have our own space to expand upon that and grow it. And the Assistant Dean, Mike Goonan, who's based at the Cumberland campus. These folks see the vision, and now we've put resources behind it. Dr. Keating, Dr. Hyken, to the county commissioners and the Board of Trustees, we're so very grateful that you also see that vision and that you've put your support behind it. Let's give a hand to these young students. And we have gifts for them. Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Ryan, and thank you again to all of the students.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. And now to close our program, please welcome Dr. Fred Keating, Rowan College of South Jersey, President.
Let me introduce the Superintendent of GCIT, Dr. Susan Hyken. She stands with me today to show the partnership between our technical high school and our college. And as you've heard already, and to my good friends, Donald and Steve, yeah, Pennsauken roots, yeah. So let me just double back, because I'm just going to wrap this up quickly. He was 18 years old. I sat at a dinner table with my mother and my father, and they said, you know, now what? And that was truly a now what. And what are you going to do? You got two choices, Fred. My father said to me, he said, you can come and follow me into the Ironworkers, or you can go to college. And I thought about, okay, I got to climb high, and I don't like heights and all that. And, you know, my family was in the trades, all of my family. And I said, you know what, I am a first generation, the first one in my family to go to college. So there was this thing called basketball that allured me to say, I'll take the college part. But I came back to him a day later and said, Pop, how about this one? Can I have both? Can I maybe go to school and play some ball and get an education a little bit more, and then try to get into the Ironworkers and have a career and a job? Can I have both? And back then in those days, it was like, no, it was one or the other. Today, we're here to say it's not one or the other, it's both. Because not everyone is for college, but everyone today is for some college, some. And what we offer today is an associate degree with my colleague that they can begin, and we just told them, freshmen, I think all freshmen, right? One sophomore. Two sophomores. My apologies to my colleague from when I was there. The idea that they can start taking college classes while they are at GCIT in welding, in plumbing. Now, why would I want to do that? Well, because we are speaking of a phrase to our friends in labor of pre-apprentice. We are not in any way, shape, or form trying to duplicate the training that they need to become full apprentices. We're not. We're preparing them to be able to sit at that interview and possibly become one. And you need a little bit more in a lab facility of your industry, a little bit more in the classroom, a little bit more time, I apologize, to mature and to look at it and get an understanding of really what I want to do. You may want to take a few classes in business if you would like to do something with your family, if you do have private consideration of the trade, and that's you. But we're here as a pre-apprentice program, make no bones about it. We're here to prepare them to go to them. And we are that little linchpin in the middle that's going to try to figure that out. Now, also in my travels, I was the superintendent of the vocational school before Susan. So I have lived with them for 10 years over there and watched the trades not get the respect it was due when we went to Pennsauken High School and talked to guidance counselors. Do you want to go to the vocational school? You want to go to Browning Road, or do you want to go to Berlin Cross Keys Road? Camden County had two. And the students would sit there and the counselors would sit there. They got paid on who went to college. But college is not for everyone. But again, I'll repeat, a little bit of college is for everyone because the world we have is now at a higher level. So we now have a pathway. You've heard us use that phrase. You start at that age. You come to this college and you study your trade with these gentlemen and the others that provide that trade. And I worked with Dan, and I haven't had the privilege to work, with the new instructor in plumbing. But this idea of, we had these conversations and we talked, and this superintendent is receptive to the idea of building a pathway for them to get to a higher ground. So that's it in a nutshell. Pre-apprentice, all the trades will be here. I don't want to lose, and I hope I saved myself, that brochure or flyer that mine's there. Please look at it because it's construction with the 5 domains of construction. By the way, look who's on the cover. A welder. Yes. Sorry. My father, I promised my father, someday, Pop. Anyway, that's because I would travel this country and talk to other states of county college design, and the congressman and I have talked about this. Does New Jersey have the model to take New Jersey forward? I humbly say no. It's not a balanced ship of higher education to career and what I'll call pure academic study and technical study, and they morph and they overlap. Entrepreneurship, business, the whole idea, down to our cosmetologist who can come here and do. We're looking at one thing in nursing with regard to aesthetic, the esthetician, and the idea of that they are taking care of health science of the human being. So even cosmetology would fit under health science. So everybody that goes there comes to this college. 2 years, if that's it, you're finished. If you want to look at the pathway on the back, you may want to climb. Some of you may want to actually move into electrical, engineering, mechanical engineering, surveying, other aspects of construction and trade. And that's there at Rowan. And Rowan, I don't know if Rowan got here. They had a board meeting this morning. Is Chad make it? Oh, there he is. Chad has to speak after me. And Tony Lohman, did Tony make it? No. Okay. The idea that Chad had with his leadership of Rowan, with Steve, was that this had to have a pathway up. If you want it, it's there. If you don't, Godspeed. You may want to go in the union and the apprenticeship training that you'll go through. You may want to come out and come back for another aspect of it. You may want to have a business consideration or further the trade. If you're 28 and you're getting out of the military, we've now talked to corrections. If you're coming out in reentry, you may want to go into the trade. My ironworkers have told me that they have 3 apprenticeships that came from return from incarceration, reentry, the military, reentry. They have the skill and the training as part of it that they too can participate in this program. So really, in a nutshell, this is a partnership between Susan and I, talking to our boards, our county leaders, our state leaders, our federal leaders, our labor leaders. Let's fill that blank that I saw on my journey from the 18-year-old dinner with the iron worker who said, here you go, Fred, there's nothing else to talk about. And we had that debate, and it did turn. Turned for me because it was something I wanted to do, the business I'm in today, education. But I always knew that my roots went back to this. The person who goes to work every day and puts their heart and soul, just like we do in education, in medicine, and business, and manufacturing. We've got it all here. Gloucester County has it all. We will take this offer to our colleagues in Cumberland and develop this as a pathway of South Jersey, for South Jersey trades. So with that, I would like to ask Chad to please come up and maybe you do the closer. Susan, thank you for your support. Thanks for holding that flag from my head. And understand that we are here today for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Keating. Sorry I'm late. We did have a board meeting. And when Steve taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, I got an idea. How would you like to go on the Rowan Board of Trustees or something like that? Beware. But it's always good because things like this happen. He sees that vision well in advance, and that's why we're here today. And I got to tell you, if you look out at this campus, this educational campus as we call it, about a decade ago or so, there was not as many buildings, right? There was a county college that had a few buildings on it. This building was still here. This is where our superintendent of schools was. GCIT wasn't as big as it was. It was more of just a vocational school, not an institute of technology like it is today. Special Services School District may have only had 1 building at the time in the mid-90s. But if you look out there today, you see much more buildings. You see a health science center. You see a housing project being built for special needs. So this is really a campus or a county of opportunity. Opportunity for a lot of families and a lot of students. And when there's a problem or identified problem, this commissioner board used to be freeholders that we're mostly that we know it by. They don't shy away from making the necessary investment into making Gloucester County better for the families and the students. Again, it was a county college, it was a vocational school, had a little bit of special services, but when we see there was an issue with special needs, we fixed it and solved it. We see there's an issue with shortage in labor and that need to go beyond high school, beyond the vocational training to a apprenticeship prep program like we're talking about today. We did it. From Commissioner Director, Freeholder Director Steve Sweeney to Bob Damager to Frank DeMarco. They've never shied away from making those capital investments in improvement because that's what you need to do. Now, taking it with my Rowan University hat, we can add layers to it. Like I walked up and I heard Fred mention, you can take this and make it a pathway or a degree program into construction management or electrical engineering or whatever it may be. The sky's the limit. But we do know that there's extreme shortage in our labor force, and things like this are going to make it better. So I don't know what everybody else said. I missed it. I'm sorry. But I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the county and on behalf of Rowan University. I'm just thankful and grateful that we have a great team here to make things like this happen for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner. So I would like to ask our agenda speakers, elected officials, unions, and trade attendees to join us for the ceremonial groundbreaking.